You've probably heard the term the final frontier. It comes from the famous Star Trek series and it describes exploring space. But have you ever heard of the first space explorers who dared to venture into the final frontier? How about the first space explorers who took a chance on something no one had ever done before? Well, meet Voyager 1. It is the first spacecraft to enter interstellar space and has been a part of NASA's fleet for 45 years. Voyager 1 is currently exploring the outer solar system and interstellar space beyond the Sun's heliosphere. That's why we're now learning more about what lies beyond Neptune than ever before. Without the 3 plutonium-238 filled batteries inside the space probe, none of this would be possible. Voyager 1 is anticipated to continue its exploration at least until 2025, when its power supply will finally run out. 3 years from now, what will happen? With 3 original plutonium-238 power sources on their last legs, could NASA bring home Voyager 1? Could it be brought back to Earth with the 1970s-style disco music message? There's only one way to find out. Voyager 1's journey. Let's start by going back to the year 1977. On September 5, 1977, Voyager 1 was launched just 16 days after its twin ship Voyager 2. However, due to a quicker course, it left the asteroid belt earlier than its twin, overtaking Voyager 2 on December 15, 1977. The 2 space probes are part of the Voyager program, which aims to explore the outer solar system and beyond. Although here's a fun fact, both space probes were originally intended to explore only Jupiter and Saturn more closely, but they didn't stop there. In fact, they're still going today. On February 10, 1979, the spacecraft entered the Jovian system. In early March that year, it discovered a thin ring surrounding Jupiter. Yep, you've heard it right. Jupiter has rings as well. Unlike Saturn's famous rings, Jupiter's rings are faint and composed of dust rather than ice. Voyager 1 didn't just meet one of Jupiter's rings, but it also has explored its moons including Amalthea, Io, Europa, Ganymede, Callisto, and other 2 new moons were discovered, named Deep and Metis. Among the many interesting discoveries are the volcanoes on the Jupiter's moon Io. It was thought that such active volcanoes were only possible on Earth. However, researchers using NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft discovered that Io is spewing material into space from its many volcanoes and 100 times more lava each year than here on Earth. The active volcanoes on Io are actually more geologically active than any other planetary body in our solar system, perhaps even more so than our planet. The next stop was planet Saturn. After passing Jupiter, Voyager 1 continued its journey to Saturn, where it found 5 new moons in a new ring called the G-ring. Truly a moon hunter, Voyager 1 returned with some fascinating results about Titan, one of Saturn's 83 moons. Titan's surface is covered in methane and ethane, making it the only known body in the solar system with an ocean on its surface aside from Earth. Since it has an atmosphere as thick as ours, it is one of the reasons why Titan might be able to host life, which makes it one of the most exciting places in our solar system to study. On November 12, 1980, Voyager 1 flew by Saturn. The spacecraft was not aimed at Uranus and Neptune due to the unique needs for the flyby of Titan. However, Voyager 2 was the one who had the closest approach to the other 2 gas giant planets, Uranus and Neptune. In 1990, NASA declared Voyager 1 part of the Voyager Interstellar Mission or VIM, which launched on January 1, 1990. Since then, the craft has been traveling farther and farther away from our Sun. Valentine's Day 1990 couldn't have been sweeter. In February 1990, NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft captured a view of our solar system from the outside. It was the first portrait of our own solar system from beyond. The images showed us our Sun as a tiny speck surrounded by its planets and other celestial bodies. Among the 60 frames to create a mosaic of the solar system at a distance of more than 4 billion miles away from Earth is the iconic pale blue dot, an image showing Earth as a pale blue dot in space. It was also an incredible reminder of how small we are in comparison to the rest of the universe and how much there is left for us to explore. When Voyager 1 passed Pioneer 10, the first ever spacecraft to travel on the asteroid belt on February 17, 1998, at a distance of 69.4 astronomical units from the Sun, it claimed the title of farthest human-made object in existence. After finally entering the heliosheath in 2004, the spacecraft started measuring the magnetic field strength at a distance of 94 astronomical units. On August 25, 2012, Voyager 1 went beyond the Sun's heliosphere and was the first spacecraft to do so. Up to this day, Voyager 1 continues to contact NASA's Deep Space Network and sends back data from the Cosmic Ray Telescope, the Low Energy Charged Particles Experiment, the Magnetometer, and the Plasma Waves Experiment. Can Voyager 1 be brought back to Earth? After a long day, it feels nice to finally go home. But what if you could never come back? You might be wondering, can Voyager 1 be brought back to Earth? Well, spoiler alert, the answer is pretty much no. That's right. The space probe that was launched in 1977 with a golden disc of music on board is still out there, and we're not sure if it'll ever come home. But before you start panicking about the fate of humanity's first contact with an extraterrestrial civilization, relax and let us explain what's going on here. Reasons why Voyager 1 cannot be brought back to Earth. The question of whether or not we can get Voyager 1 back to Earth is one that has been hotly debated, and there are some new developments in the field that might help us answer it. The first thing you need to know about Voyager 1 is that it's not nearby anymore. It's in interstellar space. Interstellar space is the region between the astrospheres of stars, and Voyager 1 has been traveling through it since 2012. So while it's technically still in our solar system and could theoretically be brought back by changing its direction, it would take a lot more power than we currently have at our disposal. Imagine you're in a speeding yacht and you dropped your bracelet on the wide sea. You can't swim and the yacht can turn around. You'll have no choice but to watch your bracelet sink away over the big ocean. The same situation applies to Voyager 1. Think of the Voyager 1 as your bracelet and the ocean as space. You know, it's just out there moving with the tides. The second thing you should know about Voyager 1 is that it's powered by nuclear energy, which means that if we wanted to bring it back home, we'd need an enormous amount of plutonium-238. We don't have enough fuel on Earth for that kind of trip yet, but some new developments are happening with nuclear fusion and fission power plants that might change this. Lastly, let's say Voyager 1 could turn and travel back to Earth. It would still be impossible for the space probe to re-enter our planet, as it would just burn upon re-entry. Potential solutions to bring Voyager 1 back to Earth. But let's say that we do want to bring Voyager 1 back. How would we do it? What would it mean for us? It's possible that NASA could send a spacecraft out there to pick it up, but that would take a lot of time and resources. Plus, Voyager 1 is so far away from us, with a distance of more than 23.8 billion kilometers or 14.8 billion miles as of December 15, 2022. It would take about 30 years or more for a crewed spacecraft to reach it. Well, the next option is to fly right next to it and then attach a rocket motor or some kind of propulsion system onto its side, and then would use radio waves or lasers to communicate with it until they were synchronized with each other so they could start moving together through space as one object again. This method is called on-orbit capture. If we're able to do it, it would be a huge achievement in space travel. We'd be able to determine how much energy it took and how long it took for us to retrieve it. We could also learn more about our galaxy by studying what happened when Voyager explored it, and even find out if there are other planets like ours out there. It may be nearly impossible for Voyager 1 to come back home, but the spacecraft is one of the most important accomplishments in human history. That doesn't mean we should stop exploring space or try to send other probes out there. We should always keep learning and growing our knowledge base. It serves as a symbol for how far we might travel to further explore and discover the cosmos. Who would have imagined that a space probe from the 1970s would still be carrying out its destined mission today? Do you think Voyager 1 will soon be spotted by aliens, or will it continue to float away from Earth? Let us know in the comment section.